So Galmudug is officially the Galmudug state of Somalia. It's a federal member state, one of 5. And it's located in central Somalia, and its capital is located at Dayhusa Marib. So you have this Galmudug conference. The Galmudug conference has turned into an absolute abysmal failure. So President Mohamed is just going to run out the clock. Old President Eminem is just going to run out the clock on the February 8th mandate. And he said mysteriously that there's still one more, possibility, one more way to possibly get it done, or it's going to be up to Parliament. And he's 100% right about that. Now, if I'm President, Mohamed, then I would push for getting a 1-month extension, have the elections on March 8th. This crisis 2 days before, I think 1 month, I think we can, apologize to the people of Somalia that whatever, for this reason or that reason, get the elections going March 8th and re-enter into all the negotiations in good faith with all the players, start from scratch, start from a blank slate of paper. And if all else fails, just go with the 2017 elections. How did Somalia elect the president in 2017? Do the exact same thing. Now, if I'm Parliament, I am not going to let President Mohamed be president after February 8th. If I'm Parliament, I'm going to elect myself an interim president with the only duty to get these elections off the ground. That's the only duty. And to get it done within a month, and also get universal voting and instant runoff, ranked choice, preferential voting. So this is in addition, Somalia declares a state of emergency over a locust swarms. There's locust swarms. There's grasshoppers that are eating everything up all over Somalia. So mysteriously, let's see, will attempt to get talks on Saturday with Parliament. Government can't. So Mohamed cannot stop the Al-Shabaab attacks. And that's apparently the reason for the indirect elections for president. But you need to have a national election. You actually need an election that all the people of Somalia vote on one single guy. That's going to be the person that leads all of Somalia. If a government can't even register the people's votes, how is the government going to represent the people or their rights or stand up for them or give them food or shelter, security, or any of the things that they need? They're not. If they can't even register the people's votes because they're so afraid of Al-Shabaab, then Al-Shabaab has won. Al-Shabaab has defeated the government of Somalia. In fact, Al-Shabaab has released a documentary about corruption in the election process. So Al-Shabaab is releasing documentaries. At the Galmudug conference, which was an abysmal failure, you had them boo. Parliament booed the president when he was sitting there saying that there wasn't going to be an election. 3 opposition candidates have said that the president, Mohamed, isn't the president. He's not for 1 hour. He's not going to be president for 1 hour over February 8th. That's it. 1 hour past February 8th. He's got to walk away. He is not the president. He doesn't have a mandate no more. Somalia hasn't had a one-person, one-vote election since 1969, so that's 51 years. For 51 years, Somalia has not had a real democracy. There's 20,000 African Union soldiers in Somalia right now, plus the United States government. The United Nations is the one that's governing all this. Now, at the Galmudug conference, day 1, there was nobody that died, but day 2, 4 Al-Shabaabs were killed, and then there were some other injuries. So a government which isn't willing to or able to record the people's vote is not going to be able to represent the people. You can't even go out there and guarantee that the people can come and put a check mark, sign their name, show an ID, put a check mark beside somebody's name with instant runoff voting. They got the choice to rank their candidates up to top 5, top 3. The top 3 candidates, 1, 2, 3, and it's more of a civil conversation. It eliminates the spoiler effect. It's also the best election system out there. So Let's see here. What else? What else? Jubaland. The president denies that the Kenyan military is in Jubaland, but the president is saying that Jubaland isn't being. So I don't think that it's Puntland or Jubaland's fault. I think it's President Mohammed's fault. He's had 4 years to get these elections up and running. There is some agreement, September, whatever, but that's months ago. So what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? So yeah, there you go. So that's apparently there's still one more way that he's got one more ace up his sleeve. President Mohammed's got one more ace up his sleeve. I think he's going to ask the Parliament to give him an extension on his mandate, and Parliament may do that because Parliament needs an extension on their mandate too. But if Parliament is actually the people's body, then I think that once the conversations begin, it makes sense to not keep President Mohammed in there. Just put another guy in there and have the ministers continue running the day-to-day functions, and then get that interim guy, whether it's Omar Fiki or somebody from Parliament or whoever, get him to become interim president, and then institute instant runoff voting, universal voting, or whatever. Do the indirect voting thing, but that doesn't sound like real democracy to me. You're doing indirect amongst the people, and then they're talking about the corruption. There probably is a ton of corruption. So Al-Shabaab is releasing a documentary. Al-Shabaab has been fighting for 10 years. They definitely believe in their cause. There's 5,000 to 10,000 Al-Shabaabs left, and still 4 of them were willing to die to protest this Galmudug conference. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Al-Shabaab, I think, is it Houthi? No, Al-Shabaab means the youth, and then they started out as small business owners. They're allied. Al-Shabaab apparently is allied with Al-Qaeda, but the United States is allied with Al-Qaeda in both Syria and Yemen. We're pulling out of Yemen, apparently, or they're talking about pulling out of Yemen, which they're using all those code words, right, offensive and whatever. So, but in Syria, Al-Qaeda and ISIS are very much allies with the United States forces. So, okay, Al-Shabaab is, at least, they're not allies with ISIS, right, like America is in Syria. And it also makes me wonder if the invasion and all this bullshit radicalized Al-Shabaab. So they started out as small business, and then they allied with Al-Qaeda, but they said no to ISIS. So they sound like, some pretty bad folks, but my God, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want America, I want to get away from all this. Let the African Union, let Somalia figure this shit out. America doesn't need to be involved. There needs to be no boots on the ground. We don't need to have airstrikes. In fact, that might be why Al-Shabaab is apparently winning. And there's only 5,000 to 10,000 left, which is incredible. 5,000 to 10,000 Al-Shabaabs is terrorizing a nation of 12 to 15 million. Colorado's like 6 million or something, so